guys, Victoria Paxton here. Thanks for stopping back by my YouTube channel. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, had a long break. Messed my back up. It was horrible. I'm back. Okay, so today we're going to talk about Carolyn Wasilewski. And I'm sure I mispronunciated her name, and I apologize. So let me just get that out right now. All right. So like, share, subscribe, it's free, you know, all that. Grab a drink, sit back, relax, and let's go over this. And pay no attention to my eye. For some reason, whenever I start recording, my eye starts tearing up and running like crazy. Yeah. And I appreciate all the kind words everybody sent me. Thank you so much. It meant a lot. Like, it was a tough week and a half. Yeah, so I'm still not 100%, but I'm a heck of a lot better than what I was. So, okay. Carolyn Wasilewski was born June 12th, 1940 in Baltimore, Maryland. She was the oldest of 7 kids. She grew up to be somewhat of a rebel. She joined a gang called the Drapes and was known to commit petty crimes such as auto theft and hosting hot rod races. I never understood the hosting hot rod races, why that was so horrible. I mean, didn't all the kids do that back then? Anyway, although this sounds shocking for a 14-year-old, she didn't look 14. People often mistook her for a woman in her 20s. She was a beautiful young woman, and she knew how to dress for success. On November 8th, 1954, at 6:15 p.m., Carolyn left her home to meet her friend, 16-year-old Peggy LaManna, to register for dance classes at a nearby elementary school. Dressed in her pink top and black skirt, with curlers in her hair, this was the last time Carolyn's family would see her. Carolyn never turned up at Peggy's house on Washington Boulevard, and she never showed up to register for her dance classes. She simply disappeared. When Carolyn didn't come home that night, her parents became worried. Excuse me. They hit the streets looking for her. However, no one found her until 7 a.m. the next morning, when a train engineer spotted something odd on the tracks. When Carolyn was found, her body was partially naked and covered in bruises and scratches. Her shoes and skirt were missing, and written on her right thigh was a cryptic message. The name Paul was written in lipstick. Police determined that Carolyn was not killed on the tracks. Instead, they believed she was tossed from the bridge above the tracks or moved onto the tracks to make it look like an accident. After discovering this fact, it didn't take long for police to find the site of the murder. Carolyn's shoes and personal items were found near her home, 8 miles from the tracks, covered in blood. An autopsy revealed that the cause of death was a skull fracture. There was no evidence of a violent sexual attack, and the time of death was placed at 11 p.m. the previous night. She also appeared to have put up a fight with her murderer because one of her fingers seemed to have been broken in the scuffle. Wow. Over 300 people were questioned regarding their involvement in Carolyn's death, including several of the Drapes and her friend Peggy. However, one by one, the suspects were ruled out. One man eventually became the police's most likely suspect, Ralph Garrett. Garrett was accused of sexually assaulting a friend of Carolyn's, and Carolyn had testified against him a week before her death. Garrett lived near the murder scene and was said to have been seen talking to Carolyn on the night of her death. However, Garrett was found 2 days later. His car was abandoned outside of town, and his body was hanging by a belt near where Carolyn's blood-stained clothes were found. Garrett's wife said that he had been depressed because his mother had died recently, and therefore believed that was the cause of his death. The police believed he had nothing to do with Carolyn's murder and deemed his death a suicide. The case remains open to this day, and her murder remains a mystery. Okay, so unfortunately I wasn't able to connect with Carolyn. Possibly one of the reasons is maybe she's been reborn. She's back down here going at it again. Because this is such an old case, that makes a lot of sense. So I couldn't connect, but I was getting like visions of things. But the biggest thing that I was getting was I kept getting, and keep in mind, I do the connection or attempt to connect, and then I go and I research the case. And so when I was attempting to connect, I kept being told that the person that they thought might have done it didn't do it. So I'm assuming after researching, it was the Ralph Garrett guy who ended up committing suicide. But I kept getting that really strong that he didn't do it. I was seeing a guy, he looked to be in his early 20s, and he looked completely out of place. When I say that, I mean, he was wearing like a sweater vest and pleated pants and like dressy shoes. So it was kind of weird that I was seeing somebody like this that was so clean cut, but that's who I was seeing. I saw him, he was standing there, he was like in a neighborhood, and it was like he was waiting for somebody. So I don't know. Then I was given, okay, I feel like Carolyn knew him, okay? And I kept getting like, she was like, wow, like, what are you doing here? You know, it really caught her off guard. It was obviously somebody she knew, you know, and just like I thought he looked out of place, she apparently thought, well, what the heck are you doing here? So I do feel that she knew him. I feel that she was just like overwhelmed, like, why are you here? Type of deal, you know? Yeah. I then saw the girl, which was Carolyn, resisting him, and he kind of swept her up, put his hand over her mouth, grabbed her, and kind of walked off. Well, not walked off, kind of jogged off, trying to keep her quiet. But I feel like he was upset with her, obviously. But I mean, I think he was not upset in that he was in a rage and he had to kill somebody. I think he was upset with her over something she had done. I kept feeling that, like, I don't know. It's like she did something to him or upset him, and he wanted to talk to her, and she just didn't want to listen to him, and so he grabbed her. You know, and it wasn't that he wanted to, like, it's not that he was just out searching for anybody, for a girl, like for a girl to rape. It wasn't like that. He didn't want to rape her. He wanted to talk to her. And when she started fighting him, like, what the heck are you doing here? Get the F out of here type of thing, he just became enraged. So I was getting the name Gregory, but I was seeing it more as Greg. So I don't know if, you know, his given name was Gregory, he went by Greg, but I was also seeing Ricky. I did feel like the Gregory or Greg guy, for some reason I felt like he was the one that was connected to the guy that grabbed her. I'm not sure why, but that's what I'm feeling. So she had the name Paul written in lipstick, in bright red lipstick, on her thigh. And that was simply an afterthought. This guy, Greg, you know, thought, oh, I'll write this name and then maybe they'll think somebody named Paul did it. Because, you know, he didn't plan on killing her. He didn't plan on abducting her. So it was just his, you know, stupid way of trying to throw the case, which it worked, you know, unfortunately. Okay. I think that Carolyn's entire family knows this Greg guy. I think that her family knows this Ricky guy. I don't know how the name Ricky comes into it, because I see the Greg guy and the Ricky guy are two totally different people. But the Ricky guy, he had something to do with it. I don't know what that was. I also saw, like, her body, you know, he was like trying to restrain her and she was fighting back and he was beating the crap out of her. And I see him like tossing her body. So I don't think he like took the time to walk over and lay her down on the tracks. You know what I mean? I think he just threw her, disposed of her, and wanted to get, you know, get the hell away from the body type of thing. So I don't know, you guys. I don't know. You know, people are crazy today, but guess what? They were even crazy back then. So, yeah, it is what it is. Okay, so today's Monday. Tomorrow's election day. Get out and vote. Be nice. Be kind. Stay safe. Try to stay healthy. I know people are saying that it's spreading more, that the virus is spreading more. There are people going back on lockdown. Yeah. So hopefully you're not going to be put back on lockdown again. But, you know, I haven't been out of the house in 10 days because of my back. And, you know, my husband's been awesome, taking care of me, getting food for me, cooking, cleaning. Like, yeah, he's been awesome. So, but anyway, you guys stay safe. Be kind. Be nice. Do what you can. Check on your neighbors. You know, it's a tough time for everybody. I'm sure it's going to be a tough time tomorrow when we find out who our president is, because the people that like Biden or the people that like Trump, whoever gets elected, the other ones are going to be upset. And that's just life. Politics is front and center these days in our country, and it sucks, y'all. I can't wait till it's all over. Anyway, so that about does it for me. Bye, guys.